everybody, to the 2025 Scrabble Players Championship live from the Live Hotel and Casino in Maryland, in Hanover, Maryland. We have an incredible matchup for round two for you guys. I'm joined again by Matt Canik. He'll be with me this entire weekend. Super excited for this one. Robin Pollock Daniel versus Ian Weinstein, two of the best wordsmiths that have ever hit the Scrabble board. Man.
Yeah. Ian came so close to winning this all last year. Took a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 finals against Mac Meller. Just couldn't quite close it out. Will this be Ian's year? We'll see. Still 30 games of Scrabble to go from just outside of Baltimore, Maryland. My goodness, this is going to be a good one.
Indeed. So Robin's going to be going first. We know Robin as, like I said, the top ever rated female player, but also one of the highest ever rated players in North America. In 2013, she went on an incredible run, was rated well into the 2000s. Currently on a little bit of a downswing. She doesn't play as much. She still studies her butt off. She's always solving an incredible amount of long words, and she almost never misses a 7 or 8 letter word in her studies. We know that from the website aerolith.org, which is a website that many North American players and worldwide players use to study words every day. And Robin is almost always at the top of those lists. So yeah, she's not someone to be messed with, not someone to play a phony on. And Ian, like you said, runner-up last year, has been incredibly sharp, and has been a top player for, I think, 20 plus years. Yeah, top player. He's always been like rated one of the top 10 in North America, I think. So super excited. Like I said, Robin is first, and we'll see what she draws out of the bag. I think they are ready to go. We saw the tiles getting put back into that beautiful black bag. It's a very big one. So if you have big hands, sometimes some of the Scrabble bags that are available for play are a little bit small. But this one, super comfortable, super cozy. It's actually a camera bag for those wondering.
I can't wait for the GCG, or excuse me, for the video to go up after the fact on YouTube. These are going to be cut up and put up game by game. I can't wait for the comments. You pronounced Ian wrong. It's Ian, not Ian. No, Ian prefers Ian as the pronunciation of his name. And it's not just Ian. We got to give a little bit more credit. It is Dr. Ian Weinstein. He is an internal medicine specialist, a practicing physician down in Florida. So a well-rounded, very smart dude. He'll respond to Robin, who's found DEEOU. Oh, this is going south. But the J gives her judo. All right, she's got some plays. ADEEJOU, the opening rack for Robin. Is this judo, Josh?
I think Robin's going to play JEU. Judo might be slightly better play. As we see her husband bringing her coffee. Wow, what nice treatment. Yeah, JUDO scores 24 points and doesn't expose a vowel next to a double letter score, but JEU is 20 and leaves a consonant on the rack. I think, knowing Robin's game, she's going to go with that. And that's going to give Ian something nice to work with, no matter what. Wow.
JEU just has one back hook, but it is the X, which Ian has on his rack. I feel like this happens way too often. When you open with J, your opponent always has the X, and we're going to see it here. ABEFOWX. I think Fox comes down pretty fast for Ian here.
Well, I don't know about pretty fast. There's you could play with JEUX, you could play with JO and EX, you could play OX, XU, and OE, which is super defensive. He's got a lot of nice options here somehow, suddenly, after the play of JEU. But Robin has seen the first blank. She's not going to be able to play a bingo next move, but she's going to be able to try to make her way closer to bingo range. So Ian's thinking about Wax, which also plays with JEUX. Those plays score, let me count, 39. Yeah, Fox or Wax. I think Ian's keeping the O for JO and also for overlapping the W. This seems like a very reasonable situation to maybe sacrifice a little bit on the leave side to keep the B and the F together rather than the B and the W.
Yeah, it makes sense. The BF combination feels pretty rough to me, but the power of that O on this board perhaps makes it worth it. Simulation slightly leans towards Fox, but you go with your gut in these situations, and Ian's gut says eject the W, one of the worst tiles in Scrabble. Robin on some bingo looking tiles, but the 5 vowels means she is not going to be able to bingo on this turn. ADEEOO blank. She's got Odea lined up on her rack. This plays alongside Wax, making WE and AA. That's 17. Are you playing Odea here, Josh, or are you thinking about doing something different?
I'm probably playing Odia. I would pronounce it. We're not going to argue about pronunciations on the stream, but I would probably do that. It's not great. I might want to try and play like OE somewhere, but there isn't anywhere great to do that. I might want to try and hook the O onto the J. I don't think you play Joe here. That just gives back way too much. So I think, yeah, just keeping things a little bit more centered by playing ODEA next to the WA and hoping for a balanced consonant draw on the next move is what I would probably do. I think a lot of players would do that, but yeah, it's definitely worth looking for a little bit longer to see if there's something more, I guess, more tight, because this does give back this little spot here, which is a high scoring spot.
Oh man, this is a high scoring spot indeed. Ian has found a potential 8 and bony face if an I were available. No bingos for Ian, but he can score 53 points on this turn.
What?
Wow. Wow.
3?
53, yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Is there? Oh, there's confab. Oh my
There's
goodness. He sees
confab.
it. Oh geez.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
goodness.
just that's beautiful. What a great find.
This is so
Confab is
easy to miss.
50. But look at Robin. Is she gonna have something great to come back with? She's gonna look. This is 50 points,
Oh
bringing
my
Ian to
God.
89.
Robin has 167. Robin has 167. Oh, what are we seeing here?
That's what I thought. That's what I
Oh
thought.
man, that's a bad break for Ian. So many players just play fob in that situation. It scores like 37, holds ACE in, but Ian finding the even better play. Assuming Robin anagrams correctly, and she is so good at anagramming, he's going to get punished very hard for making the correct play last turn.
He's gonna come right back with Mullite. Oh my god, what is going on? So it's been spotted in the chat. Mesocarp through the sea of confab, 167 points, hitting both triple words at once. That is the home run of Scrabble. And Robin just needs to find that. I mean, it's not the easiest find at all, but you're gunning for that. You're looking for anything possible through that sea when you have a rack like this. She is writing stuff down. She's trying to see if she can find something. With the blank, it's definitely difficult, especially just mesocarp is not a normal spelling, a normal formulation of an English word. You're really looking for like scape words or come or I don't know, cape words, something like that, or some word ending in S with this rack, but she definitely knows the word and she can definitely spot it. I would say at least 99 times out of 100 she's spotting this, but she's on stream. Who knows what'll happen? This is an extremely important moment already on turn 3 of this game. Matt, I can't wait and see what she does.
Yeah, she's got to find it here. Just one other playable bingo for Robin on this turn if she doesn't spot Mesocarp, and it is one that is very terrifying to play. Plays through the A in confab for 76, so Huge turn for Robin. I think one thing that might work to her advantage or might work to her disadvantage is the fact that Mesocarp has two other anagrams. So sometimes for me, like I'm able to hang on to a number. If I recognize the alphagram with an R, immediately I'm going to see, okay, ACEMOPRS. I know there are three bingos in there. I'm going to find them all. Some people don't anagram the same way I do. We'll see if that helps her or hurts her here.
And like we've been saying, Robin drills those words daily online and probably does more studying than what we are able to see. So if this rack comes up for her ACEMOPRS, she is finding three bingos like within a few seconds. But just knowing that there are three bingos here, knowing that there's one triple triple, if you told Robin right now you have one triple triple, she finds it within 5 seconds. But not knowing, that's the hard part, because you don't know if you're going to find something. You don't know how much time to spend. The longer you spend, the longer you don't find something, the less likely you feel you're going to find something. And she doesn't have her rack completely alphabetized. You were mentioning ACEMOPRS. The reason we're saying the letters in alphabetical order is the way that most players study words, especially the top players, is they're given quizzes, they're given the anagrams of a word in alphabetical order. We call that an alphagram. That is how we recognize the words that we have on our racks or on the board. So what is she looking at? I don't know. She's shuffling. Okay, so she's shuffling because she hasn't seen anything that she's written down. But if she shuffles, she might see it. If she puts the M in first position, that's another way we have of just that's the best way to find words naturally, right? Just to shuffle those tiles.
Man, this is brutal. I know when I've got these situations, I don't want to telegraph that I've got the blank, but I do want to write things down. I want to write down alphagrams where the blank is the most likely culprits. So for me, that's probably NRSL. I'm writing down ACEMOPLS, ACEMOPRS, ACEMOPTS, and just trying to figure out what I see there. Oh, this is tough.
She had it. She had the letters in the right order. She was looking at the R and the S. Between the P and the S, she put the blank. So she's imagining that as an R or a P or an S. But she did not spot it in her run through of those alphagrams. This is very surprising. But I mean, it's such a high level of difficulty to find this. And Ian just has to wait and see. He's probably found. Did we say Plumelet was available through
It
the E
is.
J right now?
Plumelet's going to play from the P in Mesocarp for like 90.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, this is taking her a long time, but she knows, she has that sense that there's something here. She might spot just Ipomoias, which is maybe a little bit more of a easy word to spot over the board. And this is the thing, Matt. Studying words versus finding them in Scrabble, it is a whole different story, right? You can have a list of words that is in front of your face saying there are 3 words with these letters, or there are 8 words with this blank and this C on this potential board. And when it tells you that, it is so much easier to find things. But when you're on the board, you're on your own. When you're over the board, excuse me, you're on your own, and you have to just find things on your own. You have no help. When we study online, it gives us the amount of anagrams, like you said, and this is the difference. When you don't play as much, and Robin hasn't played so much in the last few years, it's a different story to find words.
And adding to the degree of difficulty is you're on stream. It's not just live over the board without a couple of those hints we're used to, but on the stream is an extra level of psychological warfare where you know, oh man, there are at least dozens, if not hundreds, of people watching me aggravate over this in real time, and it's going to be archived on the internet forever. I get so deep in my own head when I play on stream. I think honestly, it's a part of the reason I gave up playing some of these big tournaments because I can't do it. I can't handle the pressure.
Robin hasn't found anything, and this is so frustrating. These are the racks you want to take as long as you can on, but at some point you're just gonna have to make a play. If Robin doesn't bingo here and plays something like comp, she's in great position from her situation. She's down 55 now, but she's gonna be scoring 30 with COMP. She's setting up a really nice lane from a P. She doesn't know that Ian is about to hit her with Plumelet if he sees it. So it's just a situation where you don't have to find something, but you really, really, really want to, and you really want to take the time to make sure you're not missing something, especially like you said when you're on stream.
Yeah, you
So
know
she's
that this
found
is the game, and she's found Pomus. Okay.
Thomas. Oh, that is very, very unfortunate. But this is a great play. This puts her in a very good position from her perspective. She's setting up the S hook on Pomus's. She's setting up the line under the P as well. And so she's probably going to bingo next turn, if not the one after that. And she's also avoided the worst of it. She's not going to get hit with Plumelet.
Indeed. Ian has 3 bingos available to him on this turn. Josh saying the first one out loud a few minutes ago, that was Mullite, Mullite. That is 70. 2 other bingos play for 60 and 59 for Ian on this turn. So Mullite is his slam dunk option. And given how long he got to stare at this rack during Robin's last turn, I suspect we're going to see Ian do this pretty quickly.
And yeah, look at him. He's just putting all of the bingos on his rack. Umbillet, right? Was that the other one?
Umbillet, Mullite.
He's just
Yep.
instantaneously just showing us, like, I've seen all of my bingos. I am making this decision with perfect knowledge of my available plays. That is just very impressive. So we do have now the records of both players available. Both players have won their first game. So Mullite coming down for 70. That is a blank. It says NASPA on it. Again, huge shout out to NASPA Games for sponsoring the stream and for running the most prestigious tournament of the year. So Mullite for 70. For Ian, he's going to take an almost 100-point lead after the very unfortunate miss on Robin's last move. But Robin to play with AEIISS blank.
Yeah, Robin's got bingos aplenty on this turn, but the highest scoring one, 12 points above other options. She can score 79, and she's already spotted it. Pomus's and Silesia for 79. Josh, 12 points is way too much to pass up, even though you're exposing that triple word square, right?
Yeah, usually, as Matt is mentioning, that A in Silesia going to be exposing this huge spot.
One higher.
Oh, sorry. You're totally right. That A here, that's not even worth sacrificing, like 7 points. There's a big triple available after the play of Silesia. And sometimes you want to sacrifice some points for defense. I usually tell people 10 points is around the maximum you want to sacrifice unless it's some crazy situation. But yeah, you have to play for the extra 12 here. She's found it. I don't know what she has aligned on her rack right now. She's just looking, I think, for all of the possible bingos. Maybe if she can end in an S instead, that would be a little bit more defensive. Ian has not drawn very well here, so he's not going to hit her hard no matter what she does. But I think Silesia, which she has already spotted, is going to come down at some point because she's already down under 13 minutes. That huge time sink on the last move might cost her later. She spotted something really good, so hopefully she makes a play soon.
I'd be looking for underlaps beneath Mullite. She's got daisies set up, and if UD were valid, daisies would play with 6 overlaps for a massive score. So again, when we're in the booth, when I've got an engine open, I can tell that nothing is there. Robin can't, and she needs to take her time once again, go through different consonant by consonant, try to see what that blank can be, see if anything fits there. It sure looks like something will, but alas, no.
Silesia is 79. I mean, if daisies were valid with UD, that would also be 79. I'm glad she's making this decision relatively quickly. Those blank racks really hurt you on the time scale a lot of the time. Luckily for Ian, he had 4 consonants for his blank rack. When you have more vowels, I think, Matt, it's a lot harder. So Silesia comes down, and I'm not going to have anything to do here other than maybe like play Louis from the L of Mullite.
Yeah, it's basically an exchange or play Louis for 10. And Louis for 10 holds DIO, which is not exciting, but scoring 0 is also tough. When you're only up by 10, you put 0 on the board, you know you're going to get eclipsed next turn. Big turn for Ian. I think I would grab the points if I were in this situation. Just score Louis for 10. What would you do, Josh?
I think so. Louis also eliminates the counterplay on the top of MUL. Now you can only make a 3-letter word after playing down from this L. And it opens the board a little bit. Ian's probably going to be down after his next move and Robin's next move, given that he cannot utilize that triple very well. It was just opened up. The best he can do there, I think, is DUI and AD for 15 points, keeping 2 O's and I and an E. So I think I'd do Louis, open something new up, and try to draw some bingo tiles or some scoring tiles on the next move.
Robin's found the ZQ combination, but the A in Silesia is going to give her Zloty for a massive score, setting up Zap as a back hook. That is a huge swing, an ugly rack, but some awesome possibilities here for her.
Yeah, Zloty, one of the harder words to find with the Z, but that will play, making Za next move. So that would score a nice 50, like you said. Louis comes down for 10. I think it's barely correct to score 10 with this rack. I like what Ian's done here, and he's up 20 points. Robin about to score a lot, I think.
Yeah, Zloty 49, and look, setting up the back P. You don't like keeping the Q if you can avoid it, but the only reasonable way to eject it is to play cot through the same A for 22. That seems like an aggressive overreaction, right, Josh?
Yeah, the Q is the worst tile in Scrabble by far. Doesn't mean you need to always play it immediately if you have a play with it. If you have reasonable options or very high scoring options, the Q can improve. We do see 3 of the 4 U's already in play, but that QI, our favorite, everyone's favorite word, is going to be able to play at some point on this board probably. And Zloty also eliminates a lot of the play on the right side and does, like you say, set up the P for Zap. So I very much think this is by far the best play for Robin. She's going to take a 29-point lead, and Ian to play with DEIN OTV, looking for an O for devotion. Anything
Looking
I'm
for
missing
an
here?
E, which he has for denotive. One playable bingo for Ian, 63 points through the E in je. But we'll get a little bit of a word knowledge check. Do we know if denotive is an adjective or a noun? Does that word take an S? It's about to set up a huge hook and an opportunity for either player to make a massive blunder in this game. Denotive is his only bingo.
Denotive, I would say, does not take the S. But maybe other people in chat have a different idea. Maybe they're already looking it up. I think Ian knows whether or not this takes an S, and I think Robin knows whether or not this takes an S. But it could be something happening later on. Sometimes with plays like this that you're pretty sure or almost certain don't hook, don't pluralize. This is actually an adjective. Somebody might desperation try to put an S on it later in the game. So I don't think that's going to happen. These players are incredibly sharp on their words. It's one thing to, not find every word that you have, but it's another thing to know those words. And I think both players will not try an S hook here. And Robin to respond. She's seen prong. That makes zap. That'll put her right back into the lead by a little bit over her opponent, Ian, who has found an S. But QV, Matt, I think she's going to be in trouble for at least a couple moves after this.
Yeah, that is about the worst two-letter leave you could ever keep in this game. In fact, it might actually be the worst two-letter leave you can keep in the game. But Prong was Robin's top option. Sometimes you got 38 points lined up on a board without much other opportunity, and you have to do it. That was a right play for Robin. She's going to need a big draw here to get out of this. Otherwise, she's looking at an exchange. DGTR. Oh, but the A is going to give her potential options. She's got caught. All right. She's not in huge trouble here. We'll look at Ian, though. BCEEEST. He's got the opportunity to play denotives right now, but of course that is invalid, though there is an S hook on the board. It's pretty big for Ian and might give him his best play. A word that doesn't look like it takes an S, but does. Zloty. And BEES is 30. Do you think it's worth cashing the S here, Josh?
I wonder. I don't know that there are great plays available. The score is tied, which means in Ian's shoes, he has a slight advantage. There are no blanks out. He has one of the S's. He has some amount of balance. So here I would be feeling slightly ahead in this game if I were Ian, and I'd be a little bit less tempted to part with my S, which is one of the last two remaining S's. It is the best tile remaining in this game. So I don't know if I would play B's. I do know that there are two H's out, and if I keep the C on my rack, I can pluralize Zloty another way, Zlotich, and that would score 44 points by itself. So I'd be sort of tempted to maybe keep the C on my rack and play something like BE and EM up top. Maybe something like that. I'm not sure. What would you do?
BE and EM is a strong play. The one thing that's holding me back from it is I'm trying to think of the bingos I'll draw next turn, and very frequently they're going to be bingos that start with a C. So I'm not going to be able to stack them alongside Louis and get sevens down. If I draw an 8, well, I'd need to play an 8 with probably the T, I, V, or E in denotive, and CEEST does not synergize very well with the T or the E, or really even the V. It's only the I that I'd be looking to bingo through next turn. I just don't think that I'm going to get a bingo down often enough that actually fits on this board. I think I'd lean towards taking points now. I think I'd play Bs, but I'm not super confident in that. If anybody plays Cards Against Humanity out there, my favorite card in Cards Against Humanity is the one that just says Bs with the question mark at the end. And that's kind of how I feel about this turn. Bs, I guess.
Wow. That's a great reference, Matt. Yeah, I totally agree with your analysis. The bingos you draw with CETES are likely not to come down. You probably still bingo the most out of any other play after BE, but yeah, it's if you don't bingo and you don't draw an H with a 2-tile draw, which is not very likely, your play is not really great. So I'm also looking at the vowel consonant ratio. There are lots of I's left, lots of R's left. Those are great letters for Ian to draw, just one of them though. So yeah, shorter play is probably good here. I don't think you want to play too many tiles off, even if you have a decent option. There's also BICE through the Ian Louis that also cuts out part of the board you might want to bingo on. But those letters in denotive are primed for 8-letter words. So very tough turn. Ian definitely taking his time, rightly so, in this position. He does have the time advantage. He's still up 4 minutes over Robin, who is probably not going to take too long on her next move. So we saw in the previous game, Mac getting pretty low on time pretty early, but having some pretty easy decisions that floated his way later in the game. Seems similar here with Robin. But yeah, back to Ian, who's deep in thought. 30 points, 18, 16. I'm not sure.
30 Bs? Who knows? All right, here it is. It's going to be beat. Dwight Schrute would be thrilled by this option. This does set up the S behind it, though not in a very strong way. He'd need to draw a bingo where an S is a 4th letter. Otherwise, he's just going to be able to cash about 30. But beat is a reasonable option here from Ian. CES is a nice leave with all those I's, R's, and A's unseen. And this is a great pull from him. co-heir
Wow.
in heroics now for Ian. Big pull, big swing.
Yeah, that was a great play. Playing that tee off to set up the S and also maybe make it likelier that you're going to get an 8-letter word through the T and D notive, scoring some points, and yeah, drawing into the pool that you kind of want to draw out of if you're Ian, like all those I's, all those R's, and he's drawn only one of each. So
No.
that is not.
Oh,
That is not. Is that a
it's
a
a
word? That is
word,
weird. Okay, that is
but
a
it's
word.
not a great play. QAT and ABY. It's 42.
Yeah, Varved. So that was a very quick decision by Robin. I wonder why she didn't want to play her Q off. She had QAID as well through the I and Louis, as well as like you said, QAT. I think you really wanted to part with your Q there. But anyways, that happened very fast, Matt. Very very bizarre. I think. I mean, there's some logic to it for sure. You can maybe draw a better Q play with the last U. That E in denotive as well, like being protected. If you draw that U, you're very likely to get a high scoring Q play. But
I'm just
I
so
think we
sad
wanted
that
to see it.
yeah, QAT would have actually given Ian the fascinating decision of do I extend Zloty to Zlotich, making TEC and EH? It would have been like 66 points. Or do I play heroics right now? But we're not going to get to see Ian struggle through that. We're instead going to see Robin struggle with this Q for an additional turn after she, I presume, missed QAT and ABY. Like 42 points and to play the Q feels so right on that last move.
Yeah, so we saw heroics come down very quickly. That was Ian's best bingo, highest scoring bingo, most defensive bingo, and he's in the lead by 66. And Robin still has that Q. She would have had the V otherwise, but yeah, this is not looking great at this point. She might be thinking about what happens if I just drop the Q somewhere. QI for 11, QI for 10 onto the Eye of Mullite. Do I draw into bingos with that? Doesn't look great. You'd want to get rid of the W as well, but I think maybe you just have to take some points, play Cots for 26 to the S of Heroics. But that continues to constrict this board. The board is really unlikely to lead to a bingo for either player at this point. So it's tough.
QATS to the S in heroics just kind of feels like you're gonna lose the game because there's three unseen eyes. Ian is so likely to drop either a 3 or 4 letter word beneath this, obstruct the E in denotive, and block every bingo line in the process. But Ian doesn't have an eye, so this is actually going to work out okay for Robin.
Yeah, it does seem kind of difficult after Cots to totally shut things down immediately, unless, like you said, you have one of those eyes and a nice play underlapping. But there's still some danger on this board, so we could see something like Feyer, Feyer, to the R in heroics. That scores super well and sort of constricts that board even further. It blocks the M of Mullite. It blocks the bingos through the A of Cots, and yeah, increases Ian's lead to over 70. I think
I
that's a great play.
Fair is a great equity play here. You're up 40 and you're threatening big points. The one thing you're concerned about is getting bingoed on. I wonder if it's crazy to play Fairy, Faery, through the R in Varved. The E in denotive feels like IER bingos are going to come down quite often, or IES bingos, especially looking at this pool. I wonder if we want to see defense here, but Ian's going to obstruct the A in Cots, the M in Molite instead, and score some extra points to survive bingos that come down.
Yeah, I definitely think this is right because after playing something like Fairy through that A, we do have the possibility of bingos from that M through that U. That they're not going to score much, but Ian's going to be way less likely to outrun those bingos. Here he's up 76, and any play through the E will most likely give back this triple for Ian to work with, and it'll leave one tile in the bag, which is not super ideal. But I think this is the right decision. Just give Robin one chance to have a high scoring bingo through that E, and if she doesn't, it's probably curtains.
Yeah, yeah. Man, Ian has played this whole game not just very well, but also very efficiently. He was able to crush some tough early game decisions, in particular that confab play that he found so quickly and was so correct. And I mean, hats off to him. He continues to play very well, leaving or picking up exactly where he left off last year when he finished runner up in this tournament. Rock solid performance from the doc.
Nice, yeah. Agreed on that front. Definitely almost perfect game by Ian. And yeah, the unfortunate miss by Robin seems to be leading to a win, but there's still 8 tiles in the bag. There's still space open on the board. Robin knows 9 letter words. She knows 10 letter words. She might draw into something Ian misses. I remember at the most recent event last week in St. Louis, Ian correctly blocked a 9 letter word in the end game that Nigel had. So we see Wig come down, which again is just furthering the constriction of this board. But I think at this score, you have to do something like that and just hope for a really random 9 letter word or something using the remaining space on the top left. Not really sure what else I would have done.
Yeah, you just need the miracle pull, I suppose, in that situation. You need to put some points on the board and draw something like through the F and fair. There are bingos with the F in the fifth spot, as Mike Barron showed us last round, Ratiform and Retiform and all that. So makes sense from Robin, but I think the key turns in this game were several turns ago.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so 5 letters left in the bag. Ian is up 45, which isn't quite comfortable enough. I think he's going to want to do his best to eliminate the space on the board. But if he doesn't do that, he can do something like HUN on the top left, making UM and NU. That would score 24 points, increasing his lead to 69 and leaving 2 tiles in the bag. Because of the state of this board, any bingo that Robin has is not going to score all that much. And the remaining tiles, I don't think there's anything huge that plays here. There
Nope,
might
you are
be.
incorrect. There is one threat for 100 unseen to Ian.
Oh my goodness. She almost has it, doesn't she?
No,
No.
she's
Okay.
like 2 tiles off from it.
Okay. I'm thinking it has to be like KIER or something.
One
Maybe.
threat for 100 that Robin could have. Otherwise, the highest scoring bingo in this unseen pool is 63. And that is how these very, very, very top players approach these situations. They look at the entire unseen pool. Imagine their opponent has all 12 of those tiles and tries to look for the most devastating play. A play like in drafts through the F in fair is 63. Ian can outrun that. But there is 100 lurking in this pool.
It's got to be in that spot.
Indeed, it is.
So Ian's looking to block that area with ARGH, I think.
Yep,
Making
that is
AGA.
exactly what you got to do. Is exactly
Leaves one in the bag. That's great.
exactly what you need to do. Man, Ian is very good at Scrabble.
Yeah.
That
mean,
play
just lights
is
out play.
Satinier, Satinier.
Oh, yes, of course. And that scores 100 because it
Scores
makes
100.
QIS for 24, AGA for 8, and AR for 2, as well as getting that 50-point bonus for using all of your letters. So Ian is smelling or even potentially seeing that possibility as a threat. He knows how many tiles are left in the bag. He knows what tiles are on Robin's rack and left in the bag as a totality. He doesn't know precisely where each letter is. But at this point in the game, you can start to make very sharp, very accurate decisions, sometimes decisions that you know guarantee you the win. And I think Hunger or Arg Well, no, hunger would not guarantee the win because you lose to any out bingo. And there are 5 tiles in the bag. But ARG that Ian had lined up earlier, that plays with AGA, that scores 20, putting him up by 65, right? And that will be, I think, just enough to win in every scenario, potentially.
Yeah, even if in drafts comes down, okay, you're probably going to pick up the K and you'll be able to score some points with it. Or Robin's going to pick up just one tile and not be able to do too much. So you should be able to win in any case. Early game in Scrabble is all about trying to increase your win percentage from like 47% to 52%. Late game in Scrabble is trying to get it as close to 100 as possible if you've got a lead.
Whoa!
Whoa.
What is this? Oh my goodness.
I hate that.
That is a very, very, very surprising move. Did Ian miscount the amount of tiles in the bag? He loses to anything Robin has now. Luckily for him, she doesn't have anything. That is very weird.
That is very, unless he had some kind of tell on Robin that she didn't have a bingo, like maybe she was slouching down in her chair. Robin will be the first to tell you that there's an unspoken psychology in Scrabble. Maybe he had a tell, but this mathematically was not a good play.
This makes no sense. Anything Robin had, any bingo score would have led to a victory. There's space on the board. She could bingo, like we said, through this F, through this U in Duziel, something like that. And she would have won the game. Ian had to leave a tile in the back there.
Yeah, let's see. So in drafts, in Duziel, there was actually a 9-letter possibility as well. Amenities through the M and the T in fair, diurnals, tail fins, airlifts, and Silurian. All possible out bingos that Robin could have had there. So Ian just took a situation where we think he could have been 100% to win and knocked that number down to about 92, but he is going to be able to get away with it in this one. That was weird, though.
Yeah. Usually in Scrabble, when you take a situation where you're 100% to win and then you turn it into 92%, nothing happens, you still win. But that 1 in 10 or 1 in 11 times, 1 in 12 times that you lose the game, those are the games you remember the most. Those are the games that you look at to make sure you never do that again. And I don't know. I wonder if Ian just miscounted how many letters were left, because this just doesn't make any sense.
No, it does make sense. If you get in your own head about denotives being valid potentially, even if there's like a 5% chance that's good, Jared Capel pointed that out in chat.
Oh,
look at this. She's going to try it, and now Ian's going to have a big decision.
Oh my goodness. Wow, you're so right.
Thank you, Jared.
73? If that's accepted?
Oh, man.
70? I don't know that you can challenge this.
Let's see. If this stays on, is this Ian's game? Yes, he has 2 wins. He can play Nidai and HI, and he'll win by 1. Or he can challenge. Oh my goodness. So Robin just putting Ian in the biggest bind right now. Clearly his play of hunger indicated that he thought this might be a threat. And then he sips the water, shakes his head. Oh no. Wow. This one did indeed get interesting.
We should have thought about this, but thank you to the chat for pointing this out. This was a play to block stuff with denotives, and now if Ian accepts this play, he will be down by 11 points, if I'm getting that correct.
Yep.
And he will have to calculate and double check. He has 6 minutes to make sure he has the scores correct, the tracking correct. Robin is threatening to go out with ORRA from the O in denotives and RARE. There might be something better. And so Ian has to either do the math as precisely as possible to be confident he's going to win with Dita or Nidi. Does Dita win? I think it
Dita
should.
also wins. There are 2 1-point wins here.
Or he has to just bite the bullet and challenge denotives, which is a word he was thinking might be valid while playing the word hunger. This is crazy.
This is what
This is
Scrabble
what
does to your brain.
double challenge.
Double challenge. You know, denotive doesn't take an S when you play it. Clearly he didn't think it took an S when he chose to play beat instead of beats and denotives, but you get in your own head the longer it sits there, and oh man, what a tough decision here for Ian. It takes
And those
cojones to challenge this. If you know you've got a 1-point win, you just take it, or do you pull the trigger on the challenge? Wow.
and those wondering, of course, the thing here is the bag is completely empty. So usually in Scrabble, when you're considering challenging a play, you have to say hold. In this situation, Ian does not have to hold. He can challenge at any point during his turn before hitting his clock. So he might do that. He might play Dita, he might play Needy and win by 1 point. They might have the scores wrong. There might be a recount. You can recount the game if you're unsure if it's too close for comfort. So anything can happen in this situation. If Ian does pull the trigger on challenging, it would be incredibly, cojones word, cojones decision. I probably shouldn't be using that as an adjective, but he will win by way, way more if he does that. And at the beginning of the tournament, um, the amount you win by is very important, almost as important as taking the win. I think we're going to see him accept. I don't know though.
I mean, we don't know that the players have the score correct. And if they don't, if Ian's down by 1 point because of a missed score anywhere in this game, like it's a completely different set of calculus. Ian might be trying to recount the full game, do the math. Okay, I've got DITA set up. She can go out with a ORRA for 6. Am I certain that she's only scoring 6 on the outplay? Am I certain the entire game has been scored correctly? Am I certain that I'm about to win by 1? Ian's got about 6 minutes to do all of this thinking now. If he hadn't played so efficiently early on in this game, he'd be scrambling right now.
I can't wait to hear what these players have to say in the post-mortem of this game. But very, very keen observation in the chat that Robin probably assumed Ian was worried about denotives when he played Hunger and emptied the bag. So that's why she played that. I don't know if she knows for sure if it's no good. I can't wait to see. I think both players are pretty confident denotives is invalid, but to have the ability to make the decision 100% one way or the other is very, very difficult. Both players put on the spot. Robin potentially going to pull out an incredible victory if Ian just does something wrong here. But if he plays Dita or Needy underneath the H, he should win the game as long as they recount the scores. And if he challenges, he'll win the game too.
Or lose if it comes back green in his head. Of course, we know it won't. We have the dictionary up on our computers, but wow. Oh man, what a play from Robin, the unchallengeable phony late in this game. I love the unchallengeable phony, but often it's like a mediocre 24-point play. This one for 70 is likely going to salvage a whole lot of spread for Robin in this game. And if you've seen the recent Will Anderson video, you know that every single spread point in a tournament could very well be the difference between $1,000 for 5th and 6th place.
And yes, for those wondering, of course, the scores are not necessarily accurate, but this is a pending play. The play of Skin was just made by Robin. She is almost certainly being held, which means Ian is considering challenging. She doesn't need to be. You are technically on hold no matter what in the end game. But the reason the scores aren't updated is we don't know if Ian is going to accept this play or if he's going to let it go and play Dita, which he's looking at under the H of Hunger. Crazy stuff. Incredible fireworks in this round 2 of the 2025 Scrabble Players Championship.
It seems like that coffee delivered by Robin's husband earlier on in the game has kicked in and helped her make some incredible plays late in this one.
Yeah, okay. Ian looks ready to play Dita. He's shrugging. He's like, I don't think it's good, but I can't challenge. This is going to be 24, bringing him to 407 to 394. Robin can go out for 6 points in a variety of spots. That will bring her to 400, and she'll be getting 6 points from Ian, which will bring her to 406 to 407, if that is the score over the board. We know the actual score. These players might not. I think Ian took all the time he could to double check all the scores in the game and make sure everything was accurate and make sure he's not missing something from Robin's perspective. But yeah, crazy.
I did not have a 1 point game on my bingo card at the end of this one, but just awesome stuff. This is only the second round, too. Mac with the improbable comeback late after drawing a 96-point bingo in a situation where he was near dead. Robin playing a phony to narrow this one to just a 1 point margin. My goodness. And I'm just going to say right now, we're going to cut to overhead mic just as soon as the clocks are neutralized here. I can't wait to hear what the players say about it.
Crazy. And Robin doesn't have time to really recount herself unless she's already done it on her opponent's time. But yeah, she's going to be looking hard for better than 6 points. She knows that Ian has LIN and he's going to be able to go out next turn. So she has to go out this turn or score a massive amount, making another phony. I don't know what she could do at this point. Crazy stuff, man. I can't believe what happened this game.
If you're not entertained, just like this has been awesome already, and we're just 2 games in. Oh my goodness. If you're just hopping into our coverage, this is the North American Scrabble Players Championship, 31 game tournament from just outside of Baltimore, Maryland. My goodness, are all the top players here, including the world's best Nigel Richards, last year's runner-up Ian Weinstein, last year's winner Mac Meller was shown in round 1. And we've just got more excellent Scrabble coming your way. Next round will feature said Nigel Richards. What a glorious time.
45 seconds left for Robin to make a decision. Is she going to play Raj to the J and J? Is she going to go out? Do they have the scores right? What if they have the scores wrong by 1 point in Robin's favor? Are they going to agree to a draw? Are they going to recount? I don't know. We might see the overhead mic being just a few minute situation where both players are trying to count every play on the board from start to finish. This is something that does happen when games are tense and close. Robin under 20 seconds now. She has to make a move.
And I will just, we'll cut to the mic as soon as she gets this down. Tick, tick, tick. And we're done here.
Rear for 6 and a 1 point loss, I think, rearing its ugly head in round 2. So let's cut to the mic, see what they say.
I thought you had 2 eyes and you were going to play MIDI and save a consonant, and I could play Abba. I'm going to do a quick recap.
I had co-airs there for $1 million, but I didn't play it because I didn't like it.
Cohere?
Yeah, the anagram of that I could have played on the bottom.
Oh,
if I thought
yeah.
it was good.
Oh, no,
I didn't like it enough to play it.
I didn't have a choice.
No.
I thought if you couldn't find it, if you had the 2 eyes, I didn't think you had a way to win if you're going to play MIDI, for example.
I had 2 eyes, but I had.
Yeah, but I didn't know you had an A.
Right.
I thought you had an R for some reason. All right. Yeah, thank you. I think I missed a bingo here. And I'm punished for missing the bingo. I'm sure people online were going crazy. I just could not even find a 7 that played.
What was the rack leave with that?
S9. I don't know.
Oh, 7 played, yeah. Keyword, yeah.
I couldn't find a 7 starting here. I couldn't figure an 8 with an E. I couldn't like Capsimer or Cap. You know, I saw. I mean, I saw nothing. It was so little that I saw.
What about mesocarp?
What a
Mesocarp?
meso.
Carp.
Oh, there's
Cap-
my.
Capsum and mesocarp
There's a-
compares.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
that's
I'm an
the-
idiot.
that's
I had
the
a
good
triple triple. You know what? I studied. I didn't get that deep into the studying, so you got away with one.
20.
39. That's fine. I'm an idiot. I knew there was some. Mesocarp.
17 is right.
Everybody's nightmare to miss a triple triple online. I've done it, and guess what? I'm gonna survive. It happens. 17.
I allowed 70 correspondence. Or even
You had to.
I didn't see how to win it by. I had to take it.
I hope this made up for it. I also had one vowel with the QVGP like for 4 turns, and I didn't get another EF. So if you know,
Yeah,
I did what I could,
lots.
and you had a lot. Yeah. This saved QP, so this was perfect. And I picked up one vowel, and I saved VQ. I don't know if cats is the right play because it's you know.
No, you set up scoring
It says up- it
options.
said- I didn't have the S.
Sark, Sank, whatever.
And then of course I picked up snark here.
Yeah. And that would have,
You wouldn't fit AGN.
Odio was for.
I didn't go deep enough in my studying. I should have had mesocarp immediately. It's ridiculous that I did. 16, 32, 17, 6, 7, 8, 8.
All right. Robin is beginning her recount after
And everybody, I'm sure, yelling.
a brief
Idiot.
post-mortem about this game. Ian finding her triple triple. She is very, very upset. Anybody in her position would be extremely upset to have missed that. Crazy stuff has happened this game. So yeah, Robin missing a triple triple. Ian not being able to challenge denotives, which he didn't think was a word. Robin didn't think it was a word. We saw everything in this game, Matt.
Everything you could have asked for, the drama, the tragedy, the comedy, the intrigue, the late comeback. Oh my goodness. And this is just round 2 from the Scrabble Players Championship. Round 3, we are getting our first Nigel Richards appearance. Nigel will have a tough task in taking out 3-time North American champion Joe Edley. Nigel Richards, Joe Edley coming in round 3. We'll get them sat down as soon as we can get access to the board, but of course this recount going to take a few minutes as the players come to their final conclusion on this one. Oh
no.
Oh no.
Okay, we just got word that that matchup is not happening. They've already started their game. Oof.
They were allowed to start on a different board, and I guess Nigel just jumped in, took the opportunity. Apparently Nigel was even told he's going to be on the stream and then just sat down and started playing somewhere else. Mac Meller and Rafi Stern is another option. We're going to see if we can get those players wrangled instead. Okay, there will be Nigel on stream during this tournament.
Wow.
That much I am all but certain of.
We need to hire bouncers and security to make sure these guys don't start playing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, this game lasted such a long time. It totally makes sense. People want to get started. Nerves are very, very high at the beginning of the tournament. But if they were told, they should be punished. They should be taking wins away, spread away. We haven't thought of this sort of thing because this hasn't happened before. We're going to double check to see if Mac and Rafi have gotten started themselves. It looks like I don't think they have. So hopefully that's the matchup we're going to get. An incredible matchup, of course. It would have been great to see 3-time champion versus 5-time champion, the most possible wins in a possible matchup in this tournament. But I think we're going to get an incredible banger anyway. Between Mac and Rafi, we're just going to hear from our producers on that end while the players players continue their recount. We're going to see Mac Meller versus Rafi Stern. We did see Mac in round 1, but he is the champion, the defending champion. So this matchup is going to be incredible. So while the players finish off, I think we're going to take a short break. They're still recounting the game, still discussing the game. But we will cut back very, very soon for the next matchup, Matt. Yeah, disappointed. We'll see Nigel. We'll see Nigel eventually. We'll work on it. Apologies.
I'm stuck in Surrender Cobra. I'm so devastated. Joe Edley, Nigel Richards, as Chad pointing out, the most possible North American championships you could have in a matchup. Joe Edley's 3, Nigel's 5, I believe, 8 altogether. But we'll have high-level Scrabble. We're going to take a little break, figure out who we can get to sit down at the board. I'm going to see how long I'm stuck in this Surrender Cobra position. We'll get more Scrabble soon.
See you guys in a bit.